The battle for blue-chip talent, Ohio State versus Penn State, a rivalry that shapes college football. The rivalry between Ohio State and Penn State isn't just about what happens on the field. It's a fierce competition for the nation's top high school athletes. But here's where it gets controversial. With James Franklin's recent firing, 11 Warriors editor Dan Hope predicts Ohio State could flip 9 recruits from Penn State. But is this just the latest chapter in a decades-long recruiting war? Let's dive into some of the most iconic battles that have defined this rivalry, from Ki-Jana Carter to Micah Parsons and beyond. Ki-Jana Carter, the 1992 game changer. In 1992, Penn State was still an independent program, but they were already making waves in recruiting, especially against Ohio State. The crown jewel of that year? Ki-Jana Carter, a blue-chip running back from Westerville South High School, just 20 minutes from Ohio State's campus. Despite a knee injury and a broken finger during his senior season, Carter rushed for 975 yards and earned All-American honors. And this is the part most people miss. Ohio State was the hometown favorite, but Penn State's relentless pursuit paid off. Carter chose the Nittany Lions, becoming a legend in Happy Valley. At Penn State, Carter was unstoppable, rushing for 2,829 yards and 24 touchdowns. His performances against Ohio State were particularly memorable. 123 yards in a loss, and 137 yards with 4 touchdowns in a blowout win. Drafted number 1 overall by the Cincinnati Bengals in 1995, Carter's NFL career was cut short by injuries, but his college legacy remains untouchable. Did Ohio State miss their chance to land a program-defining star? Terrelle Pryor, the 2008 dual-threat sensation. Fast forward 16 years, and another recruiting saga unfolded with Terrelle Pryor, the number 1 dual-threat quarterback from Pennsylvania. Pryor was the highest-rated recruit Ohio State had ever signed, until Quinn Ewers broke the record in 2021. Pryor chose the Buckeyes over Penn State, Michigan, and others, but his career was marred by controversy. But here's where it gets controversial. Pryor's involvement in Tattoogate led to NCAA sanctions, cutting his college career short. Still, he left Columbus with 6,177 passing yards and 57 touchdowns, cementing his place in Buckeye history. Micah Parsons, the 2018 recruiting violation that changed everything. Micah Parsons was the number 5 overall prospect in 2018, and both Ohio State and Penn State were in hot pursuit. But a recruiting violation, a photo with Kirk Herbstreit and Eddie George on College game day, forced Ohio State to back off. And this is the part most people miss. Parsons' commitment to Penn State wasn't just about geography. He's from Harrisburg, PA. It was about trust and relationships. At Penn State, Parsons became a consensus All-American and the Big Ten linebacker of the year before dominating the NFL with the Dallas Cowboys. Was Ohio State's decision to stop recruiting him a missed opportunity? Zach Harrison, the 2019 local hero. Zach Harrison, a defensive lineman from Lewis Center, Ohio, was the number 1 strong side defensive end in 2019. Despite taking visits to Penn State and Michigan, Harrison chose Ohio State. But here's where it gets controversial. Fans expected him to be the next Joey Bosa or Chase Young, but his college career didn't quite reach those heights. Still, he recorded 13 sacks and 5 forced fumbles in 4 seasons before being drafted by the Atlanta Falcons. Now, in his 3rd NFL season, Harrison is finally living up to the hype. Did Ohio State's expectations set him up for unfair comparisons? Kyle McCord, the 2021 quarterback battle. Kyle McCord, the number 6 quarterback in 2021, was a tug-of-war between Ohio State and Penn State. He ultimately chose the Buckeyes. But his journey took an unexpected turn. After starting as a junior, McCord transferred to Syracuse, following a loss to Michigan. And this is the part most people miss. His decision to leave Ohio State sparked debates about player loyalty and program expectations. At Syracuse, McCord thrived, throwing for 4,779 yards and 34 touchdowns. Was his transfer a loss for Ohio State or a win for his development? Honorable mention, Justin Fields, the one who got away, twice. Justin Fields initially committed to Penn State in 2016, but decommitted for Georgia. When he transferred to Ohio State, he became a Heisman finalist and led the Buckeyes to 2 college football playoffs. But here's where it gets controversial. Fields' success in Columbus was a reminder to Penn State fans of what could have been. His performances against the Nittany Lions were nothing short of spectacular. Did Penn State lose out on a future NFL star? The bigger question: what's next for Ohio State and Penn State? As the recruiting battles continue, one thing is clear. This rivalry isn't just about winning games. It's about shaping the future of college football. With James Franklin's departure, will Ohio State dominate recruiting, or will Penn State fight back? What do you think? Is Ohio State poised to flip more recruits, or will Penn State rise to the challenge? Let's debate in the comments.